Good day folks, my name is Sean and welcome to Air Photography. In this video we're going to go over some of my favorite accessories for the DJI Mavic Mini and the DJI Mini 2. A few days ago I uploaded a video of my favorite accessories for the Mavic Air 2, so if you're more into that drone, definitely go and watch that video. I'll link to it down in the description of this video. Now most of the accessories I will be showing you today are compatible with both drones. They're compatible with the original Mavic Mini and the new upgraded DJI Mini 2. A couple of the accessories are specific to the DJI Mini 2 and I'll make sure I go over that with you when we get to that point. So with all that said, let's just jump right in and take a closer look. So we're going to take a look at some of my favorite accessories. Now some of these accessories are already featured in my Mavic Air 2 video because they are compatible with many different drones. The one problem with having drones so small is that they sit very close to the ground when you're trying to take off. That can affect the gimbal and perhaps even damage it. It can also prevent your propellers from spinning freely and getting tangled up in grass. A set of landing gear just raises it up anywhere from half an inch to an inch off the ground, usually giving you enough clearance to take off safely. There's a couple different types of landing gears you can pick up. As you can see here, I have a sled style landing gear and I also have some detachable folding landing gear. So we'll take a quick look at both. This sled style landing gear just clips right onto the bottom, just like that there. When it's on there nice and secure, so you don't have to worry about it falling off. As you can see, it doesn't interfere with our sensors or our power button there on the bottom. Now it's hard to tell on video there, but it does give you an extra ½ inch to 3/4 of an inch clearance. It just gives you some extra space so you can take off from grass or gravel safely. The only problem with this style landing gear, it doesn't allow you to fold the drone up when it's installed and you have to take it on and off every time. The other thing you do have to worry about, because of the way it clips into this bottom plate, sometimes when you go to remove the landing gear, it can actually pull that bottom plate right off. So you do have to be a little bit careful there. The next style of landing gear here is a folding set. As you can see, they just slide onto the front arms there like that. The back set just clips onto the arms there like that, and as you can see, when you're done with them, they fold out of the way. These front ones fold up and out of the way as well. The nice thing about these folding sets, as you can see here, we can still fold up the drone when they're attached. Now with the Mavic Air 2, I prefer a sled style, but with the Mavic Mini, I do prefer these folding ones. Landing gear is one of those things that not everybody needs, or it's not something you need all the time. Some people like to fly with them, others don't. I've never had any problem with them, and they don't really affect the flight performance. So the next item here is a strobe light for your drone, and basically this just makes it a little bit more visible up in the sky. In some countries, you do have to mount these on your drone to make it legal to fly at night. When you power it on, you can cycle through different strobe combinations and colors. You get a couple of these Velcro pads, so you can attach it to a few different drones, and that way if you want to move it from drone to drone, you can do so easily. It has a built-in battery with a Type-C connector for recharging. It's just really important to note, however, when you attach a light like this or the landing gear like I already shown you, that's going to put it over 249 grams. For some people that's not a big issue because they're not flying it for the weight, they're flying it for the small convenient size. But if you're flying it because it's 249 grams and you don't need to register it, this is going to put you over the weight limit and could make you uncompliant. Now the next accessory here to keep in mind for your Mavic Mini is a power bank. Both the original Mavic Mini and the DJI Mini 2 can be recharged with a power bank. As you can see here, I've got a USB-C cable going from a power delivery port on this power bank over to the USB-C port on the DJI Mini 2. Now you don't have to use a USB-C cable, you can plug it in with a traditional USB-A cable, so whatever works most convenient for you. This is a great way to charge your drone when you're on the go and not around traditional power. Now another item you might want to consider if you're brand new to drones and maybe you've perhaps just got your very first drone over the holiday season, and that is a landing pad. Out of all the accessories that I am showing you today, this is probably the one thing that I do recommend to buy if you're only going to buy one thing. The problem with these small compact drones, like I did mention with the landing gear, is that they sit very close to the ground, so if you want to take off from something like gravel or grass, you could really run into some problems. If you're going to be taking off from surfaces that are less than desirable, such as wet grass, tall grass, perhaps you're going to be flying at the beach and you want to take off from some sand, throwing a landing pad down first will really solve all those issues. This first one here is probably the most common one you'll see if you're searching on Amazon for landing pads. This particular one is by PGY Tech, but they're all the same. You'll probably notice there's all different brands that make them. It does come with this little carrying pouch, and inside of there you can see that there are some stakes to stake it down if it's a windy day. Personally, I never do. Even on windy days, these things sit flat enough to the ground. For the most part, they won't blow away. And these ones just kind of unfold This thing is pretty large, you won't be able to see the whole thing in the frame, but it's a nice large surface, gives you a nice flat surface to take off from. When you're done, it just folds back up. The nice thing with these landing pads is that they're not too expensive and they're very light. So if you're going to be stuffing this in the back of a backpack, which most of the time, because it's squishy, you can shove it in like a laptop compartment. And it's not very heavy at all, it's actually quite light, so it's not going to add a lot of bulk and weight to your setup. The other one I have over here, this one is by Moment, and I do believe you can only purchase this on the Moment website. And I use this one from time to time just because, as you can see here, it's very small and compact. Now, the overall footprint of this landing pad when it's unfolded is a little bit smaller than the PGY Tech one that I just shown you, but it still is big enough that it will accommodate a wide variety of drones. As you can see here, there's an elastic that's permanently attached to it, and that's just kind of nice because it keeps it all folded up tight when you're not using it. As you can see there, it is quite a bit smaller, but it works quite well. You can take it out, throw it down, and it's big enough, especially when it comes to the Mavic Mini. It's the perfect little size. Now, what I really like about this landing pad, however, is that it actually fits inside the Fly More Combo bag. This is the bag that comes with the DJI Mini 2 Fly More Combo kit, and as you can see, we have this little kind of pouch there at the front, and this thing just slides right in there ever so nicely. And as you can see, you can do it up. So it's the perfect little landing pad to take along with you with your DJI Mini 2. And of course, if you're using any other kind of small bag, it will fit in there with no issues as well. Now, if you're going to be doing a lot of editing and previewing of your media on an iPad or iPhone or other type of tablet, you may want to consider getting a memory card reader. Myself, I do all my editing when it comes to drone footage, GoPro footage, even my YouTube videos, all on an iPad. I have two different card readers here. I have a Lightning one for my iPhone and a USB-C one for my iPad. These ones here are the Apple brand, and they're a little bit pricey. Of course, they have the good old Apple tax on them, but there are some really good third-party ones on Amazon that work just as well and come in at a fraction of the cost. A couple benefits of using a card reader is that it transfers over the content from the memory card a lot quicker than if you try to do it directly from the drone. Also, you don't have to worry about powering on your drone. All you do is take the memory card out, slide it into the card reader, plug it into your iPhone or iPad or whatever device you're using. On an iPad here, to then transfer the content over, there's two ways in which we can do it. We can launch our Photos app. As you can see down here under Devices, it lists the memory card reader, and there's all our content. We would just select what we want and then transfer it over to the camera roll. The other way to do it is launching the Files app. As you can see here, the device is listed. We can go into it. And again, there's all our content. We can transfer then over to iCloud. So definitely, if you're going to be doing a lot of filming and you're going to be doing most of your editing and browsing of your media on an iPad or iPhone, a memory card reader is a very valuable tool to have. The next item here are some ND filters, and these work with both the original Mavic Mini and the DJI Mini 2. I'm not going to go over the whole how and why you need ND filters, but if you are looking for an ND filter set for your Mavic Mini, this set here is by Freewell Gear. And this set is really complete and covers all the different values that you would need on any days that are maybe somewhat bright to days that are extremely bright. Some of the ND filters also have a built-in polarizer, so if you're going to be flying over water, it will help cut back on reflection. Again, one of those accessories that not everybody needs, but if you do want a set, I highly recommend the Freewell Gear set. Now, the next couple of accessories I'm going to show you here are tablet mounts if you want to fly your Mavic Mini with a tablet. And the reason I have two different ones here is because this particular tablet mount here I really like, but it is only compatible with the new DJI Mini 2. The controller is different with the original Mavic Mini, so this one will not work. However, it also is compatible with the controller for the Mavic Air 2 because they use the same controller. This one here is kind of a standard universal one. You can use it with any Mavic controller, and we'll take a look at both here coming up. So I really like this one because it is held on very securely. It wraps right around the controller body. Let's go ahead and we'll get it installed, and I'll show you how it works. We'll pull out the antenna on our controller. Now, it's very important to make sure you pull your cable out first, because once you have the mount on there's no access to that cable. In fact, you're going to have to pull it right out and use a third-party cable. And the reason you have to do that is once you have a tablet mounted in the holder, this cable, the stock one that comes with the controller, will no longer reach. This is the one that I've been using, and it works quite well. I'll leave a link to it down below in the description of this video. All we have to do is plug it into the USB-C port there on the controller. Now, the other end on it is a Lightning port because I'm going to be connecting it to an iPad. If you're going to be connecting it to an Android tablet, you're going to want one that's USB-C on both ends. Once we have that connected, we just slide that over the controller just like that. And as you can see, there's little latches there, and they just clip on. This tablet mount can accommodate the iPad Mini, and it can also hold larger iPads such as the iPad Pro 11-inch. It can also accommodate the new iPad Air 4 and regular sized iPads. It will not work with the 12.9-inch iPad Pro. We'll just place the iPad Mini in there and just push it in tight. Attach the data cable, And now we're good to go. Now I'll just quickly show you this other mount. This one is by PGY Tech. And as you can see here, when you're not using it, it folds up nice and compactly. So if you're going to be sticking this in a camera bag, it's not going to take up a lot of room. Setup is quite easy. We just have to pull that top piece off, fold that ball mount out, just loosen that nut on the back, and it just pops on there like that. And with this one, it just fits in there kind of like a smartphone. Just like that there. There's no worry about that sliding out. It's in there fairly securely. And as you can see here with the original Mavic Mini controller, it just fits, slides down in there just like your smartphone would. So that's basically just a couple different tablet mounts for you. If you did receive a Mavic Mini over the holiday season and you're wondering how you can attach a tablet to it, that's how you would do it. Now the next item I'm going to show you is to do with the controller again, and it's only compatible with the controller from the DJI Mini 2 or the Mavic Air 2. It is not compatible with the controller from the original Mavic Mini. Basically this is a sun hood, so if you're going to be flying in bright sunny days, it does help block glare from your phone. It folds up pretty compact, so you can stick this in your camera bag without it taking up a lot of space. When you're ready to use it, you just unfold it. As you can see, there's two Velcro pieces on the side there, and that kind of holds it together in its shape. As you can see at the top here, we have more Velcro. And that is, you can actually fold the top flap down if you want it out of your way. When you're ready to connect it, you can see there it just clips over top of the antenna. When you're ready, you can go ahead and mount your phone in there, and now you've got a nice sunshade to keep the glare off your phone. Definitely something to keep in mind if you're going to be flying a lot on bright sunny days. Well folks, that's basically it for my video. Just a few accessory ideas for the original Mavic Mini and the new DJI Mini 2. Hopefully you enjoyed this video and got some value out of it. Give it a thumbs up if you did. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel so you don't miss any of our upcoming videos, and we'll see you in the next one.